upcoming PS4 games list is looking pretty healthy after all those E3 2021 announcements, even if none of them were from Sony itself. Yes, Sony's last generation console still has plenty of life in it, especially as PS5 stock is still so hard to find. There are specific PS5 releases among the plethora of upcoming PS5 games, but for 2021 at least, PS4 gamers have plenty to be excited about. We have made sure this list only has games worthy of your attention, and to make your life easier, we have listed them by release date. Here are all the upcoming PS4 games that are going to make 2021 a great time to be a PlayStation gamer. On number 1, we have The Little Devil Inside. You are on a mission and your number one priority is survival. Not quite a survival game, but Little Devil Inside will have you fighting for your life as you embark on missions and journeys that question the choices you make. Giant monsters and glowing swords will feature heavily, along with an old man on a toilet. In this mysterious world that spans multiple biomes, your task is to build a comprehensive encyclopedia of all phenomenal existence within the world, a bit like a Pokédex, but slightly more aggressive creatures. And the next one is Where the Heart Leads, a choice-based narrative adventure that takes you on a journey through the protagonist's wit's life. Armature Studio is bringing us a narrative adventure that blends imagination with reality as you explore the protagonist's wit's past and future, from his childhood to adult life and beyond. Every choice you make will influence where wit's path will lead, with many different endings to discover, from surreal to emotional moments and everything in between. Where the Heart is takes you on a story-driven journey that explores familial ties. And the next one is Psychonauts 2, crowded from the sequel to one of the most beloved cult games ever. Picking up after Rasputin makes it to the Psychonauts headquarters. Team Schafer has a habit of crafting great adventures, and Psychonauts is one of the best games you have probably never played. That's something you can rectify immediately as it has been re-released on PS4. We can't wait for the sequel, where you will presumably be diving into the minds of all sorts of new characters, as well as learning new PSI abilities to help you unravel emotional turmoil and uncover any evil plots, expecting great things. And the next one is Kena, Bridge of Spirits, a game about bringing spirits from one realm to the next with the help of adorable creatures. You play as Kena, a novice spirit guide searching for a sacred place of knowledge, when she stumbles across an abandoned village afflicted with corruption where trapped spirits solve chaos and unnatural decay. Helped by the rogue little chibi-esque suit sprites, you will help the good ones and fight the bad. In the next one we have Riders Republic, a multiplayer open-world sports playground where you can ski, cycle, snowboard or fly with a wingsuit. If Steve was a bit chilly for you, then Ubisoft is delivering the significantly warmer goods with Riders Republic. In this constantly online sunny world, you can take on up to 50 other players at the same time, which is just as chaotic as it sounds, as well as make your way through a slightly more civilized sounding campaign mode, whether you're soaring the skies in a wingsuit or embracing terra firma on a bike. This looks like a satisfyingly relentless open world to explore. And the next one is Life is Strange True Colors. Life is Strange is back with a brand new, super-powered protagonist with true colors. Take 9 is bringing us a fresh life is a strange adventure. The upcoming narrative adventure will follow Alex Chen, who has come from a troubled childhood, but has just reunited with her brother Gab. After 8 years, tragedy strikes quickly though, as Gab is killed in a mysterious accident, forcing Alex to investigate the truth using her psychic empathy power that allows her to read and manipulate their emotions. And the next one is Far Cry 6, the 6th installment in the Far Cry series that takes place on the island of Yara. The return of the Far Cry series will see you take on the role of Danny Rogers, a veteran who fights with a guerrilla group to free the island from rule of Anton Castillo, who rules a ruthless dictatorship. Castillo is set on restoring the island to its former glory by any means, with his son Diego at his side. And the next one is Back for Blood, a co-op FPS zombie horror game that's a spiritual successor to the Left 4 Dead series. If you're still pining for a Left 4 Dead 3, then you are going to love this. It's from the same team under the Turtle Rock Studios label and is another 4-player cooperative wave-based zombie shooter. You will work your way through each chapter with your buddies, not knowing what you're about to face between you and the next safe room. The AI game director will change the enemy mix-up and quantities depending on how well you are doing, but this time you will be able to use the game's card system to tweak your defenses and combat some of the director's decisions. And the next one is Battlefield 2042, a multiplayer-only Battlefield offering set in a climate change-ravaged future. If you needed a better excuse to sort your recycling and examine your carbon footprint, all you need to do is look at Battlefield 2040's near-future inbound apocalypse. There's no companion mode this time around, but DICE has made sure there's no shortage of story to the 64 players chaos on the way on PlayStation 4. After years of rising sea levels, economies in ruins, and food shortages, this is a world on the brink of permanent disaster, where a group called the No-Pats or Non-Patrioted must fight to survive. This is the backdrop to a variety of multiplayer modes, including series, staples, conquest, and backthrough, as well as a new squad-based mode called Hazard Zone. There is no battle royale here, but DICE focus exclusively on multiplayer is a refreshing change that will hopefully pay off. And coming up next, we have the Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, a single-player space roam with a fresh Guardians story and an 80s mixtape. Let's face it, the Guardians of Galaxy are pretty dysfunctional, and that means that the best way to experience what it's truly like to be a part of the team is to be, well, a part of the team. Eidos Montreal's decision to let us only control Star-Lord might be questioned by some, but the fact that we have to make decisions that will probably affect gameplay means that we will constantly have to think about the interpersonal dynamics of Groot and Co. Don't worry though, there's an all-star 80s soundtrack featuring Rick Astley, so you're never going to want to give it up. And the next one is Stray, a game where you play as a street cat wearing a tiny backpack in a world of robots. There are not many games that let you play as an adorable little baby cat, but Stray is one of them. You're lost alone and separated from your family, but in order to get back to them, you must untangle an ancient mystery in a long-forgotten city. Thankfully, you find a small drone known only as B12, making you not quite alone anymore. And the next one is Dying Light 2, the sequel to Techland's zombie-filled parkouring survival horror, Dying Light. Dying Light came out back in 2015, and since then, many have been hoping for a sequel. So when news hit that Dying Light 2 was in fact happening, the excitement for another zombie fest from Techland was palpable. The second one takes place 15 years after the first, and one human settlement still stands in the modern dark age the infected world has fallen into. There are more RPG elements on offer this time around, with difficult choices and sacrifices to make to help or hinder the world. From what we have seen so far, the world's visuals look fantastic, and it looks set to be even bigger than the first. You can also once again play the entire campaign in 4-player co-op, and there's even more parkouring action to be had. And the next one is Horizon Forbidden West. Ello's back with a brand new adventure, and this time, as the title suggests, she is heading west. As the sequel to Guerrilla Games' fantastic robotic, post-apocalyptic adventure is inherently exciting. Our hero Ello is back, and she's heading to the realms of San Francisco and Co. in the west of America, facing a new threat and some old foes, expecting new robots, some familiar faces, and some seriously gorgeous graphics as this game launches across PS5 and PS4. And the next one we have Jurassic World Evolution 2, another bite at the life-finding away cherry as we build bigger and better dinosaur parks with even more toothy creatures. The original Jurassic World Evolution was a triumph, theme park sim that constantly kept us on the edge of our seats as we desperately tried to keep our velociraptors happy enough to not turn the visitors into lunch. The second game from Frontier Developments promises a grander full campaign that will leave the original Movertes archipelago behind in favor of building in a series of fresh environments across the globe. The game is set after the potentially catastrophic events of the last movie and stars Jeff Goldblum as the Mr. Chaos Theory himself, Dr. Ive Malcolm, and we have got flying dinosaurs this time around. He's going to love them. And the next one we have Heavenly Bodies, a physics-based adventure in space where you control the arms and legs of a cosmonaut. When it comes to being a 1970s cosmonaut in space, there's no such thing as a simple task. Without gravity in the starry expanses of space, everything is at risk of floating away, and my jobs you do are a little bit more complicated to carry out. You control the arms and legs of the cosmonaut, and each limb has different input, so you will have to quite literally get to grips with the controls as you tinker with space tech in various scenarios. And coming up next we have The Boundary, a competitive first-person shooter set in space. Absolute madness, not on a planet or with ships, but astronauts armed to the teeth in the nothingness of space. You will have multiple astropredators to choose from with various abilities and custom loadouts. There's a grappling hook too. It all looks a bit bonker to be honest, and we are so down for it. And the next one is Solar Edge, the latest title from the team that brought you Hyper Light Drifter. Why is it so interesting? Solar Edge is Heart Machine's second game and features a vivid, surreal and stylized world that's filled with huge enemies. You will move around at high speed via green rails and other fluid movement options, battling creatures and meeting allies along the way. You will want to wishlist this for the graphic alone. In the next one we have Open Roads, a story of a mother and a daughter going on a road trip to discover the family's secrets. Open Roads is coming to you from Gone Home and Tacoma developer Fulbright, and tells the tale of Tess Devine and her mother Opal. The pair are heading out on a road trip after discovering letters and notes tucked away in the attic of their home that will lead them to learn more about their family history. Thank you for being with us till the end of the video. If you have liked the list, please make sure to like the video. And if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe because I really appreciate that. And stay tuned for the next videos. Stay blessed.